All right, folks. Today is March the 7th, 2020. Markets have closed. We got our results for the week on how the markets did. What I'm looking at right now is my return, Dodge & Cox, Harbor Capital. So we can see how we were doing 2 or 3 weeks ago and how we're doing now. Somebody was confused about where I was getting the 15% that Harbor Capital had lost. I'm going to show you it should be 15% from its high. And that would be this year. So from in the last 3 weeks, it's lost 15%. I'm going to show you here in a second. But we look at this chart. My return is the dark green. I'll turn the graph sideways so you can see it. My return is dark green. Dodge & Cox is blue. Harbor Capital is light green. So just to make it easier for everybody to see, you see the date on there, 2020. So not too long ago, we were all at our peaks. Let me try to get it. One second. Okay, so at our peaks, we were, at our peak, you can see the Harbor Capital was 13.3%. I was at a 3.69. Dodge & Cox was at a 2.29. Let me see if it shows the date on it. Hold on. Okay. That was February the 19th. What was that, 3 weeks ago? Okay, yeah, so that number I showed you was February 19th. So let's come to today. Okay. So today, one second here. Today, you see Harbor Capital minus 1.85%. I'm at a minus 2.2. Dodge & Cox is at a minus 14.73. So what is it, 14.73? And what was it before? 2 something. So that's like a 17% drop for that. We fell about, let's see here, about 6%. Harbor Capital is down 15% from its all-time high for this year. We're down 6%. Dodge & Cox is down 17%. So that'll just show you that our method of moving stuff around does actually work. Let me show you how everybody else is doing. Let's hit the table. Okay, you see the date? Actually, today's still the 6th, but you'll see our return is minus 2.2. The conservative ones, the target dates, once you get down to 2020, 2020 is doing worse than us. You get down to like the 2040 target date, it's minus 5%. You get down to a 2060 target date, 2060 target date is minus 6. So that's 6 below its all-time high. So it's down about 10%, 12% today, or this year. Putnam Stable Value is still doing decent compared to everybody else. The bonds are doing good for now. T. Rowe Balance is -5. Dodge and Cox, like I said, is -14.73. That's the worst it's been doing this year. So it's down like 17% for the year. S&P 500 is down. Harbor Capital, we saw that -1.85. So remember, this was a 13.1 and now it's a -1.85. SS Russell down 10. So even though we have taken some hits, if you followed my strategy, we have taken hits. We haven't taken not even half of the hits of mostly everybody else, and sometimes not even a third of the hits that they've taken. So I can't promise you we're never going to take hits. That would be crazy. But we do learn from the hits that we take, and we try to take fewer in the future. So remember last week, I think last week we ended the week -4.85, I think it was. And now we're at -2.20. So while everybody else was still losing for the week, we actually gained. We would have gained more if the days that we stayed in 20, 30 target date. Those 2 days, if we would have just put them Stable Value, we would be positive for the year. But hindsight is 2020. We're going to take what we can get. So for today, markets, the Dow Jones was down 1%. S&P 500, NASDAQ, they were both down about 1.7, 1.8%. Those two, S&P 500, NASDAQ, they barely had gains for the week. Dow Jones was up about 1.5% for the week. Let's look at the charts. So here we're looking at QQQ. QQQ is NASDAQ. It's also close to Harbor Capital. So I knew we would have issues getting up to the 120 or the 220 area. Remember, I said we had to get to 220, then 226, and then from 226 it would go higher, but not all in one shot. So we struggled to get to the 220 area before we started having issues. Today, QQQ was down 4%. So I got all the way down to like almost 202. And then at the last hour of the day, it rallied back up, same as the other markets. We're just happy that we closed above Monday's low point. And we closed above Tuesday's low point. So hopefully that'll be bullish going into next week. If it is bullish, I expect to go up to, well, our first area we need to conquer is 214, then again 218, and then again 224, 226. If we can't get up there next week or within a couple of weeks, we're going to be in this little zone for a while. Unless we go back down under 200, which I'm not saying we're not going to. We could possibly go under 200 within the next couple of weeks because we do have at least one more rate cut coming in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully the markets don't panic, but they probably will because we don't cut rates if the economy is good, no matter what anybody tells you. So just keep that in mind. If people really start panicking, it's going to be some more downside. So we'll worry about that when it happens. Right now, next week, I'm just trying to help the markets get up to at least the 224 area. It's going to have trouble when it gets up there. So just know in 16 ticks, which is less than 8%, we are going to have trouble. It's like 95% guaranteed we're going to have trouble getting up there. Just something to keep in mind. Thank everybody for being patient. It was a wild week this week. I'm not saying that the wild ride is over. It could possibly continue. So we'll just take advantage of it. If we get any days over 3%, the next day we will just go 100% Putnam stable value. So we don't give any of it back. And then we'll see how that works out. So for the most part, right now, it seems like the way we're going to beat everybody else is by taking advantage of the 1 or 2 days per 1, 2 or 3 days per week that the market is up. Try to avoid the other 2 or 3 days that the market is down. So while everybody else is going, basically just staying still, hopefully we'll be gaining like we did this week. Thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later.